Everybody is talking about AI, but very few are taking action. And if they are taking action, it's not tangible action. However, there are those outliers, those men and women who are actually all in. They are using, building, deploying, and seeing the benefits of artificial intelligence in their business. I have a treat for you today. I have a special guest. He is renowned in the mortgage industry for not just his production, but his ability to take action when it comes to automation, specifically AI. You will not want to miss this, and quite honestly, you can't afford to. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and a very special guest. This guy was born in Indiana but raised in South Carolina. When he's not working or spending time with his two kids, he's proudly rooting on the Indianapolis Colts or the South Carolina Gamecocks. He is a mortgage professional who owns his own brand, Legendary Mortgage, a division of Lower. He is the founder and division president of Legendary. He is my friend. He is my colleague, but he is someone that I follow and look up to and respect because of his technological background, especially when it comes to not just understanding AI, but implementing AI into his business. He is my friend, the one, the only, Mike Fitzpatrick. Fitz, welcome to TLOP.
I appreciate you having me, man. This is, I think, long overdue. We've been talking about it for a while, but
well, it is long overdue. It's difficult when I have this, like, my heels in the sand. I only do podcast interviews in person.
Yeah.
And I still, at this point, 5 going on 6 years into it, I think I want to stay that way. However, you and I both have a relationship with Lower Mortgage, and you and I are both in Columbus, Ohio, for Lower's annual sales conference. And I thought, you know what? Let's take advantage of it so that you don't have to make the probably 9-hour drive from Myrtle Beach to get down to Orlando, Florida, so we could do this in my studio, or I don't have to make that drive up to Myrtle to do something in your studio. So I'm excited. I don't know exactly where you're going to take today's conversation, but I'm going to pepper you with questions. And if I don't like the answer, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And if I don't like that answer, then I guess I'll go into the next question. But before we get too far into things, I would like to first let people get to know Mike, the mortgage dude. Right? Before we get into Mike, the AI dude, let's talk about Mike, the mortgage dude. How long have you been in the mortgage industry?
So I'm going on my 11th year, I believe.
Okay, so you're 11 years. What did you do before?
I was working in insurance with my dad. He's a financial planner, insurance. Got my start in sales stuffing envelopes at 8 years old for child labor for my dad. But I've been around sales my entire life. It's like really kind of the only thing I know. If you would have told me at 18 that I would be sitting behind a desk at 32, I would have said you're out of your mind.
What did you think you were going to do at 18?
Oh, I thought I was going to be a pro football player, of course.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Okay, I hope you're really fast.
Yeah, no, I was quick, but I was a 6 foot tall white quarterback. So,
okay.
I knew that was only going to go so far, and I always kind of nerded out on research. And my uncle that I'm actually named after is my dad's best friend. He passed from pancreatic cancer, but he named me after him, and he was in the mortgage business. So when I was working for Dad, I ultimately found out that Dad was always going to pay me like an indentured servant. Love you, Dad. But I ultimately found out like insurance was not my thing. I didn't want to do financial planning because I didn't want to play with other people's money, like just too conservative for that on that front. And then I was like, well, Uncle Mike crushed it in mortgages. I mean, he crushed it. Now it was like back in before 2008, and he was probably doing a lot of interesting loans, but absolutely murdered it in the mortgage business. And I said, listen, I'm going to go kind of start a branch, and got with a company that gave a 21-year-old newbie the keys to Encompass and said, have fun. And fast forward 2 years, I had a W-2 that said 12 grand on it. So I was crushing it in the mortgage business.
Wait, so your first 2 years, you made a whopping 12 grand a year.
Yeah, I think it was 2016, my W-2. I still have it on my desk. Said $12,000 on it. I think I did 1.1 million in total volume for that entire year.
Perfect. So you were crushing it. Then what changed? because you're still around, right? I mean, look, this year, although you're more divisional, you have your branches, you have your loan officers. I mean, I know you're still in production, right? You're doing a little over $1 million a month while also building and running your team. I mean, your team has doubled their production, right? So not many people can say they have doubled their production from 2024 to 2025, but you have. And you have goals to even 10x what you're going to do this year over you get 3 years down the road and you get to 2030. I know from us being friends, you're like, I'm going to 10x that. You're going to run a $1 billion, $2 billion division. And all of the effort and the energy and probably stuff we'll get into later in today's episode. We'll probably discuss how exactly you're going to do it. But you hopped in at 21, struggled mightily for 2 years. The year was 2016. He still has the W-2. He made $12,000, but at some point you quote unquote made it. What changed?
And I know the cheesy thing to say is we've never made it, but at some point, you do figure out this business a little bit.
You can pay your bills. You can take vacations and you can buy a house. To me, okay, you've quote unquote made it in terms of there's some financial security and financial consistency.
And I think most loan officers, when I see somebody as I think that they've made it, they can look at a file and actually qualify it. That's all right, you know a little bit of stuff about the mortgage business now. You've made it. You're good. But no, I was at a couple of companies that managed to risk not to close loans. And I had no confidence. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had paper guidebooks. I had bought the paper guidebooks because I had nothing better to do. I had no business. So I really just nerded out on mortgages in general. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this business. So I ended up talking to, he ended up becoming a great mentor of mine, J.R. Downs. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia, and talked to those guys. And I could see pretty quickly that they knew how to close business. And so from the time that I started with them in March of 17, he kind of took me under his wing. I said, hey, I know everybody in Myrtle Beach. I think I can do a lot more production. I just need somebody that can close loans.
A lot more than 1.2 million a year.
A lot more than 1.2. I think fast forward 7 months after I was with them, I did 13 million in 7 months.
Wow.
So it was a dramatic change.
Yeah. Well, you made a change in terms of you found a good mentor. And you found probably someone who's probably, you would say, your first coach even.
Yeah. I mean, he coached me through mortgages, through a couple of life issues. He's was still a great friend. We just don't work together anymore, but still an awesome buddy. I talk to him all the time. He was very integral in the beginning of my career to do the business the right way, which is you kind of have to be a politician inside of an organization, and you got to work your way in and make sure that you know everybody. And he really taught me how to quote unquote work the system the right way.
But did it teach you how to go out and market and sell and generate referrals and build relationships, or was that something you just figured out after stumbling and bubbling through your first couple years?
It was definitely stumbling and bumbling. JR is very technical, so he's very operational. One of the smartest people I've really kind of ever met in the mortgage business when it comes to operationally. But that was him. So all of the marketing and all of that stuff, I went hard into social media in 2017. And I would say that the majority of my swing up was from social media, Facebook, Instagram, being social on social media. Believe it or not, people are social on social media.
Right. Yeah. It's a place to go network.
Yeah.
Right. Were you generating leads, or were you building relationships and those relationships generated leads on social?
Yeah, it was all relationship play. Yeah. So
I think that's the biggest misunderstanding. People are like, oh, I need to get on social to generate leads. I'm like, I don't think so. Not that you can't, right?
Yeah.
There are the Rebecca Richardsons of the world and the Jordan Nutters of the world, and we talk about them because, well, they're outliers.
Yeah.
Most of us need to get online to be social so that we can get the meeting, so we can build a relationship or strengthen the relationship, so that we can generate the referrals we need to close the loans that we need to finally feel like we quote unquote made it.
Yeah.
But I was happy to hear that, you found someone, because not everyone has a someone. And when you don't, that's when you have to look at communities like we're building over at T-Lops Originator Coaching. It's like, hey, you may need to spend $300 a month to get access to these thought leaders and these experts and these top producers who can then be your support system so that you're not doing things alone. Hey, real quick, before I get into the rest of me peppering you with questions, let's take a quick break so that we can hear from today's show sponsor. Shout out to our sponsor. Today's sponsor of the show is Lower Mortgage. Shout out to Lower. Yes, they reached out and they said, look, we are on a mission to represent mortgage lending of the future. We're already a top 25 lender. We're already funding $500+ million per month. We feel like we are on a mission to become the most respected lender in the country, a top 10 lender in the country, by helping our branches and our originators become top 5 in each of their markets.
That makes sense.
They're going to dominate traditional networking, online networking, and creating a work environment that is tech-enabled, future forward, and one of the best places to work. So if you're ever interested in learning more about Lower, and you don't want to take John's word for it or my word for it, okay, they make it super easy. They offer a no pressure, anonymous, no questions, hop on and let us present to you why we are doing what we're doing, where we're trying to go, and help you kind of look under the hood without being recruited. Look under the hood without the sales pressure and all that comes with like being recruited, that sometimes if we're not ready for it can be a little bit icky. So if you're ever interested in being included in one of those calls, I believe they call them Lower Launchpad. All you have to do is reach out to my guy, Connor Bartley, over at Lower. His email, cbartley, that's CBARTLEY @lower.com. Connor can make sure you get invited to the Lower Launchpad. You won't be sold, you won't be recruited, you won't see your face, and no one will know that you're on the call, but it gives you an opportunity to look under the hood. So now we're back.
Yep.
So by 17, you're on social. You're figuring it out. You met JR. You've now done 13 million over 7 months versus 1.2 million over 24 months. And for the most part, I would like to say the rest is history. But I'm curious, before we jump into the Mike Fitzpatrick of 2025, staring down the barrel of 2030, Mr. AI, I do want to know, what were some pivotal moments that you did? Because obviously 13 million over 7 months wasn't your best year ever.
Right.
That was just kind of your breakout year. Like, were you ever going to conferences? Were you reading books? Were you hiring coaches? Like what allowed you to take that 13 million and put even more juice behind it?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many outlets out there going into that time, because a lot of people got on social media. So there was a lot of free content happening in 2017, 2018, 2019. Like the Gary V's of the world were going hard into social media, the Bradleys, the Grant Cardones, like, so there was a lot of free content out there. And I never in those years, because I had so much backup from an operational standpoint, that I didn't like go get a coach, which I admittedly should have, because I would be further along.
Yeah, but you talked to me offline when we were in the green room about you have a relationship with Brad Lee.
Yeah.
And it's, by the way, it's Brad space L-E-A.
Yeah.
I remember Renee Rodriguez talking about Bradley. I'm like, does this dude not have a last name? Yeah. And I don't know Brad. One of my friends was on his show. You said you were on his show twice.
He just gave like so much free knowledge just in Instagram DMs to me. Like, wow. I don't know what he saw in me, but like he would just DM back and forth with me all the time. Like,
but you met him at a 10X growth conference.
So I met his like right-hand man assistant at a 10X growth conference, which, like, if you go to conferences, go with a purpose. I always tell people this is like, you're not usually going there for the content. You need to go there with a purpose to network with the people that are in that room. Like, you need to go shake hands, kiss babies, introduce yourself, because that did have a momentum push for me, because I'm like, I can hold myself in these rooms. Like, it gave me a confidence boost. Like, I can hold my own in a room with guys that are just way bigger than me, way more wealthy than I am, but like I'm respectful and like I can hold myself in those rooms. So it was a cool confidence boost. But I would say I consumed a ton of just free stuff. And then I got onto Hormozi.
Love Alex Hormozi. I don't know him personally. I love his content.
Yeah, his content's great, and I think people struggle in our business to watch him and know how it translates, but there's so much that does into the mortgage business if you build kind of that front end process of your business the right way. And Hermosi talks about that a lot too. So
yeah, and I think the big takeaway, and this is what I was hoping you'd go down that rabbit hole a little bit with me, Mike, is look, you didn't need a coach because you had a JR.
yeah,
But that didn't mean you weren't an active learner.
right.
Right? You were all over Alex's content and Brad's content and Gary's content. And then you started going to conferences. And then it's interesting. The next big conference coming up is MortgageCon, by the way.
Yeah.
It's at Universal Studios. It's in February this year.
Yeah, I think February 4th.
It is the coolest mortgage conference I've ever been to. I got to speak last year at it. I'm going this year where I'll be speaking and podcasting. Like this
Nice.
thing's like Harry Potter themed. But true story.
That's cool.
It's like on a soundstage at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, when the rest of the country is freezing cold and having shitty weather. No, come to Orlando and hang out with us at MortgageCon. But what I love about going to conferences is what you just said. I realized that, as cliche as it sounds, those two are just other humans.
Yep.
They also bleed red. They also breathe air. They also make mistakes. They also don't have all the answers. They also, too, were probably F-ups like I was in high school.
Yeah.
But they've just thought bigger, or they've been doing it longer, or they surrounded themselves with the right team. And then I realized, just like you did, well, I can do that. Like I left with confidence that I might not be where they are today, but it doesn't mean I can't get to where they are, which is why I'd recommend, conferences to anybody. And I gave that little plug to our friends over at MortgageCon. And when it comes to free content, especially for the mortgage industry, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel,
Yeah,
right?
you have to.
Yeah, like look, the podcast is great, right? This is the podcast. You may be listening on Spotify, you may be listening on Apple. But if you go to our YouTube channel, which right now it's at TLOP Entertainment, right? There's going to be some big announcements coming up through the end of 2025, and we've changed it. It used to be at the Loan Officer Podcast, but we're going all in on this content.
Yeah.
And we're truly TLOP Entertainment. TLOP stands for the Loan Officer Podcast, but TLOP's also a brand. TLOP's a lifestyle. TLOP's like the brand that brings you all of this content. But we have a whole entire show called The DO Show. We have Talk Mortgage to Me. We have Coach's Corner. We have Mortgage School. Like we have all of this free content that y'all have access to. All I ask is that when you get there, click the freaking subscribe button for me.
And share it.
And share it. Thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, just click that subscribe button so we know that you were there, so you get notified every time we drop something new, and then share it because sharing is caring. All right, on that note,
Yeah.
to me, and you and I have worked together for the past year. We've done panels together. We've done events together. I have not met someone who is as tech forward as you, who is also a mortgage originator, branch manager, divisional executive.
Yeah.
Right? I have plenty of friends that are tech nerds,
Yeah.
and I have plenty of friends that do amazing production and run great teams. But rarely have we found someone who is like, no, I actually know mortgage.
Yeah.
And I know tech. So over the next 15 minutes, let's dissect and do a deep dive. What are you currently seeing most people do incorrectly? Okay, we'll start there.
That could be like 4 podcasts.
Well, no, I'm only
Yeah.
going to give you
No,
3
I'm
minutes
just
on that one. And then the second one is, what are you currently doing that's working? And then you can throw in, hey, I tried this, but it didn't work, and here's why it didn't work. But where do you see yourself, AKA / the industry, by 2030?
So first question, that first question, where the industry I think is going by 2030.
You're starting with the last one.
Yeah, I'll start with
The last one and work backwards.
Yeah,
It gets fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think by 2030 we are going to be using a lot of what I call agentic agents to do a lot of the busy work that, like, I'm very techie and I can type and those kind of things. Doesn't mean I like busy work though. Like I actually hate it. And so I think that we're going to have these agentic agents that are taking phone calls and helping make sure data is correct and applications are filled out properly, and like a lot of what a traditional upfront LOA would do.
Okay. Or like a processing assistant would do?
Processing assistant would do. So if you're in one of those positions, the people that utilize AI in those front end LOA or processor positions are going to make fat money if they double down on it, or they just won't be in the industry anymore.
Yeah.
So like that would be my PSA to those people, because they're the white collar jobs in our industry that are going to go away, and there will be a lot fewer of them. There'll be people trained on how to use these agentic agents the right way, and now they can process 200 loans instead of 30.
Yeah, and those, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the way I wrap my little pea brain around it. Those agentic agents still need a manager.
Correct.
And those managers very well should be human.
Because they'll hallucinate sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, so if you are a badass LOA or a badass processing assistant, or hell, maybe you're a badass processor.
Yeah.
Could you wrap your arms around working with the technology, managing the technology, coaching the technology, training the technology, at which point you still are gainfully employed. You maybe have even increased your income 50 to 100%, and you're relevant. Because if not, your alternative is one of your peers is going to choose to do that.
1,000%.
And then that peer and their robots is going to put you out of a career, at which point you have to go find something else to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's painting homes or gardening, landscaping, plumbing, critter control. I'm trying to think of all the things.
All the blue collar jobs that are going to still be around.
All the things that, that I think will still be around until eventually a robot can climb in your attic, set mouse traps, cover up holes in your siding.
They'll try to kill us before that happens, unfortunately.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's one way you see.
Yeah.
Are there other ways that you see the industry going by 2030?
I think that we're going to see more consolidation outside of the AI side, but I think we're going to see more company consolidation. I think we're going to see bigger companies rise, smaller companies get bought, go out of business, whatever, because the what I consider the space race or the AI race is kind of what it is at this point. Is the smaller companies, there are going to be smaller companies that go all in on this that end up massive companies because of it.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be massive companies that have 72 board meetings and 32 team meetings for all these different teams to try to get on the same page to implement something in AI, and they're going to lose.
Yeah.
So like, that's the other PSA. If you're a big company, stop having so many damn meetings and just implement something.
Yeah, go out and do. I fully anticipate the top 10 today, which today's 2025, by the way. We're recording this November of 2025. You may be listening in 26 or 27, but just to timestamp it. And when we get to 2030, the top 10, easily half of them, half the top 10 from 2025 won't be the top 10 in 2030. Yeah. But that's pretty cyclical. We can do that. We can go back to 2020 or to 2000, 2010, maybe even 2020 compared to 25.
Yeah.
There's definitely some shakeup, but I would agree with that. What else you see in 2030?
2030, I think that we as an industry will have far less LOs than we even do now. And I know that sounds crazy. And that's my hot prediction, but
man, don't hurt my coaching company, Mike. I'm going all in on this coaching company.
I think that we will end up with a lot more. We'll end up with fewer doing a lot more business.
Yeah, because
you got to look at the aging population of our LOs, and the younger guys aren't getting into it. Like that's a big passion project of mine. You can see
mine too.
My team, like most everybody's younger. It's like, we're not getting the new blood in fast enough, and the old blood's not going to keep up with this AI stuff. Like they're just going to go the hell with this. If I got to deal with this, I don't want to do this anymore.
And most don't need to, right? If you don't need to, then don't, right? But the rest of us, like if you want to work the next 10, 15, 20 years, like yes.
So I think unless we get some big influx of, like you and I motivate a lot of people that are younger to get into the business, but I think people will be phased out faster, and in 2030 will be, if you are a tactician and you use AI, I think you'll make a lot of money.
Yeah, like I've gone all in on TLOP. Like it's why we changed the YouTube channel to TLOP Entertainment. Full scale launching. The coaching company is up and running. Like our numbers are up like tenfold from last year. Like I'll give you an example. I was talking to my accounting team just yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week, and they said that the revenue we did last week was the same revenue we did in all of October of 2024.
Dang.
Right?
That's awesome.
And we're just getting started. Like TLOP has always been my passion project. It's kind of been my side piece. It's never been my one thing, my only thing. And now that it is my one thing and my only thing, we are embracing that we are out to shape the future of mortgage lending.
Yeah.
And that starts with the 28-year-olds and 32-year-olds that are now finding this as a great career. But it also starts with helping companies, let's call them the companies that are more traditional, the companies that have 20 plus years. I want to be able to come in with my team and say, let me get you AI enabled,
Yeah.
right? It's just almost like Geek Squad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I went to Best Buy when I was 30 years old and I bought the house I raised my kids in.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, holy crap. I had this 3,000 square foot house. I was coming off of basically a first home that was half the size that I had furnished with my college furniture, right? Stuff bought on Craigslist was still, or hand me down from my parents or my wife's parents was what was at the time our furniture. Didn't even have a flat screen TV. Refused to buy it. My friends wouldn't come watch UFC with me because I didn't have a flat screen TV. And I buy this big house, which was my forever house. And I remember going to Best Buy and going on a shopping spree. And I did that because I put 10% down and not 20% down. True story. I put down 10, did no MI, and then I had money to move, money to buy new furniture, money to finally go all in. But then I realized this. I don't know how to hook up the surround sound. I don't know how this receiver works. And now that I couldn't figure it out, because in high school I was really big into car stereos, it's like I didn't want to figure it out.
Yeah.
So what did I need? I needed a Geek Squad. And Geek Squad came in and they set up the whole entire house, even outdoors and upstairs and surround sound. And I'm looking at things that guys like you and I or can do is for other companies. Maybe they know they need to be all in on AI, but they're going to need their version of Geek Squad.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, hey, cool. Maybe that's a service that TLOP can provide. It's like if you want to trick out or enable your operation, whether it's branch, division, or a whole entire company, maybe we can slide in, bring our team, and spend X amount of hours over X amount of weeks getting you and your team up and running.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, right? So someone's going to steal it. Someone's going to get ahead of it. And then I'm going to be playing catch up because I decided to go down some freaking rabbit hole yet again on a podcast that's supposed to be about Mike Fitzpatrick, not about Dustin Owen. All right.
No, that's a great idea.
Let's talk about Mike Fitzpatrick. Like, what are you guys doing right now at Legendary? Like, what? Because you are Mr. All In. So, like, walk us through, us meaning the audience. What are you currently doing? What has worked, and what do you expect to do more of in the future?
So I've been asked this a bunch because people in the company are seeing like how much we're surging. First off, what I think we're doing really well is spreading positivity in our market and spreading positivity with us as a team. So like that can breed success when you're not bitching and complaining all the time. So like that has been a cornerstone, I think, of what is propelling us faster than most people because we don't get down. Like we're making money again. Like we're charging forward. We're going after it. And then at the same time, I understand the mortgage business and I also understand AI. So I'm creating a lot of tools that are making them faster. And that with the AI front is we have, probably 60,000 loan officers in the United States at this point. 65,000 was the last number I saw.
You sure it wasn't 67?
67. My kid does that all the time.
60 or 70,000?
Yeah. But so I think that as rates drop, it's going to be about speed. You got to be as fast as humanly possible. Otherwise, you're going to lose it to servicers.
So what are you building? Like, what's the technology that you're building that's helping you stay positive and be fast?
So we're implementing a lot of AI in the mundane tasks, like looking up guidelines. Like that's an easy light lift at this point with AI.
Did you build your own or are you using somebody else's?
Yeah, no, so at one point I built a company called Mortgage Desk. It's a lot like Guideline Guru, shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
But I ended up thinking that AI was going to advance super quickly, and which it did. And I sold it in 6 months for 6 figures. I was like, hey, you're going to be able to build this on ChatGPT in 2 seconds. So I ended up selling that company. And then from there, the other thing that we're working on is the AI employees. Not a lot of mortgage people do DTC well, and none of them, and they probably never will.
And DTC is direct to consumer.
Yeah, direct to consumer.
Yeah, companies do it well.
Yeah.
But individual loan originators don't. Optimal Blue is a critical tech partner powering a huge chunk of the mortgage industry. If you're a loan officer, you have almost certainly priced and locked a loan through the Optimal Blue pricing engine, even if you haven't realized it. They're the company that helps every type of mortgage lender stay competitive, protect margins, and move fast to keep pace with the market. Optimal Blue connects the front-end pricing that you rely on in your day-to-day as a loan officer to the secondary market, making sure every loan is priced accurately and backed by real-time data, so lending operations operate profitably and competitively. so they can continue originating more loans to help more home buyers. Optimal Blue has been doing this for over 20 years, and they've never let up on their commitment to continuous innovation for the benefit of lenders and the borrowers they serve. Bottom line, Optimal Blue helps lenders win more deals and keep more profit and originate more loans for more home buyers. Check them out at optimalblue.com.
So my goal with that is, like, I've generated Facebook and Google pay-per-click leads for years. Like,
Okay.
I used to set up lead funnels for realtors, and that was like one of the ways I started getting business. So I can generate a lead on Facebook for $1, and not $1,200 with Zillow. And so my goal with that is to invest money into that side, and then my AI employee, which this is already working, takes them from top of funnel to on the calendar or already filled out an application with no human interaction.
You're doing that already.
Yeah, it's already working.
Which you had a background, or I should say you figured out and had success with Facebook and Google leads.
Yeah.
As a retail local loan originator.
Yeah, I went all in and just started figuring out, like, how do I get them to run, and what does Facebook look for, and like all this different stuff. So I kind of figured it out from there.
Was that like 2018, 2019 you were doing
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then as you started having success, that, look, if you're in retail, you're a mortgage broker, our job is to help realtors who are our clients generate more leads, convert the leads they have at a higher percentage so they can sell more homes, make more money. And if you do that, regardless of how you do it, right? It could be door knocking. It could be doing virtual workshops, wherever the case may be. If you do that, then you will gain their trust. You'll also earn the referrals. You happen to do yours by you figured out Google and you figured out Facebook on your own, taught it to realtors. So you already knew that. But when you were doing it the old school way, you needed humans to try to take those leads, which I'm guessing are lower conversion.
Yeah, they're not great leads.
They're not great leads. So you have to generate a lot of them. Then you have to relentlessly pound that phone.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, but what if I don't have to pound the phone anymore? Right. And that's
So that's the premise is utilizing that AI agent, whether it be voice, texting, email, to take them from top of funnel all the way to setting a time on the LO's calendar, or ultimately.
Did you build that in chat, in Claude, and Perplexity?
No, so I built it on Go High Level is a great system to build that in.
Okay, so that's a CRM, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a great system that you can customize, and they already got the AI agents, the framework for them in there. You've got to train them, you've got to set it up, you've got to create the workflows and all that. But it works. Like, I mean, I've taken. I created an AI agent for my Instagram page for our business page, and it's set 4 appointments on my calendar already.
Did you create the AI agent through Go High Level or on your own?
So Go High Level has it built into their system.
Okay.
And then you just have to train it on
so
what to do.
You're paying for Go High Level.
Yeah.
And then through your relationship as a client of Go High Level, you're having the ability to create these agentic agents that are helping you pound the phones on these low converting leads, and you're also helping them stay active on Instagram for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there, like the goal will be to take that to agents and say, let me reactivate your database. Give me 1,000 leads and see if I can get you a sale. Let me just reactivate your database with our AI agent.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the maturation of where that's going to go.
So obviously loan originators throughout the Southeast are looking your way, because like, wait a minute, this guy knows mortgage, he knows tech, and he's actually helping loan officers like me bring value to my realtors, or better yet, generate our own leads, but without me having to pound the phones. Let's use technology to pound the phones for us. On the Guideline Guru, Guideline Guru is an entire company, right?
Yeah.
So you gave a shout out to your friends at Guideline Guru.
Yeah.
I haven't seen their platform yet. I've heard great things about them.
Yeah, they're cool guys.
Yeah, and that's a way for mortgage brokers and loan officers to have access to a service that they can look up guidelines.
Yeah.
But you built your own.
Yeah, I did at one point, and I sold it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have Mortgage Desk anymore. I ended up selling it to a company that's no longer in business, which is actually
Did you
whatever.
get paid?
Yeah, I got paid.
If you got paid, congratulations to you. Not many people can say they sold a company and made money.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and this goes towards the mistake question that I think most people are making mistakes with AI is spending too much time on the guideline piece, because I think that's the low-hanging fruit of the mortgage business of the AI is like, oh, I'll just create a guideline bot. Well, yeah, okay, like that's super easy. Just upload a PDF into it.
Yeah.
That's where I think most people are making a mistake. And then on social media, they're just having it write the content and giving it nothing. So it's getting flagged for AI content and all that kind of stuff. So those would be the two biggest mistakes I see LOs using AI for. Is like,
But aren't you working on your own CRM?
yeah.
And does AI make you, like, does it give you what you need to build it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, walk us through that, because not many people are rolling out like their own CRM. Like I'm friends with Garrett Locklear. His CRM, Candid, I think is badass.
Yeah.
Right. I love
great
that.
CRM.
I love the people who are at Adium, right? Friends with Spencer. I think that is badass. Obviously, Total Expert has massive market share.
Yeah.
And you talk to Dan over at Total Expert, and he'll even share like all the things that they're doing to try to enhance their product offering. So most of us are like, I don't need to go build my own CRM, nor would I even know how to.
Right.
Yet you're building your own CRM, and I'm assuming you're doing it because of AI.
Yeah, so a lot of what I'm doing, like I understand the baseline code infrastructure that it needs to have. But
Did you go to school for that, or is it self-taught?
It's all self-taught. Yeah.
Okay, so and I want people to know that, because look, I get around Mike and I feel sometimes intimidated because I'm not going to code something. Like I'm not. But it's nice to know if I ever wanted to.
You could.
I think I'm smart enough. Like I'm not a dumb.
Yeah.
I just have to have the interest. Right. I don't rebuild car engines. My father does.
Yeah.
My father, that excites him.
Yeah.
Right. My father-in-law does his own bathroom remodel. I don't. No part of that.
No interest in any
no
of that.
part of that interests me. You know. Now,
I mean, I like cars, but I would never do the handy stuff.
Yeah. Maybe I travel the country and speak on stage because I freaking love it. And my dad and my father-in-law, that would scare the bejesus out of them.
Yeah.
Right. So I get around you and I'm like, God, Mike's doing this and Mike's doing that. I think it's good to know that, yes, Mike is a smart, competent guy, but he didn't go to school for this.
No.
This is all self-taught, meaning if it interests you, you too could teach yourself. Walk me through exactly how and why, and we don't have to do it more than a couple minutes, but how and why are you building your own CRM? Like, how are you doing it, and then explain the why behind it.
So I am layering it over top of Go High Level at this point. I didn't want to create the whole infrastructure because, like, then you have to create APIs and all this different stuff to connect together.
So you found a chassis.
Yeah, so I found the
using
chassis.
our car analogy. And by the way, Candid, built on Salesforce.
Yeah.
Jungo, built on Salesforce.
Yeah,
so this isn't
very
uncommon.
similar stuff. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
So the advantage or the reason why I'm doing it is because I always find little holes in each one that I ever demo. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't need that. Like, why? I don't need that stupid email that goes out. Like, that's dumb. I need this. And its baseline infrastructure has all of that makes sense stuff. I need a system that can manage my Google business page. I need a system that can manage my social media and not deplatform me off of my CRM. And when I get a DM to that social media, I need it to be added as a contact automatically. Like the make sense modern sales that we embark in, you get hundreds of DMs. I get DMs all the time. And being able to utilize a CRM the way that it should be utilized, because the vast majority of the mortgage business doesn't use a CRM the same way that traditional sales organizations use a CRM. We like use it for emails that go out and stupid stuff like that. But in reality, every other industry that is a sales industry in this entire world uses it on the front end and uses it to cultivate those people to being in their process. It's not, well, now they're a client because they filled out an application and now my CRM just does whatever. And then we have a bunch of post-close stuff. I think the mortgage industry as a whole has a black hole on the front part of it.
Yeah, the cradle aspect. Like we want to own the borrower from the cradle to the grave.
Yeah.
However, we're not doing a whole lot at that inception.
Yeah, like so when you acquire lead, for most loan officers, nothing happens.
Yeah.
They don't track it. They like for most loan officers, they at most have an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
But none of the CRMs that I was seeing made it really easy for them to get that lead into them early, whether it be through a form, whether it be through a funnel, whatever. And if they do, it's really hard to create.
Yeah.
Then you got to go to your corporate, and then you got to create the funnel,
So
and you got to do all this stuff.
On a technical aspect, like are you using certain AI tools to code and build this?
Yeah. So if I get stuck, ChatGPT, Claude are the two main that I go to, and I say, hey, is this possible? So that's one of my favorite things about building technology and the utilizing AI is I have these crazy ideas. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if it did this? And then I'm like, well, is that even possible? So then I go on, I'm like, is that possible? And it's like, well, it'd be a really heavy lift, and you need to code this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this. So then you don't need this whole big dev team because you're like, all right, that's a way heavy lift. I'm going to leave that later down the road.
Okay.
That's a really easy lift because it's really easy to code, and I can turn on ChatGPT's agent mode, and it can go in there and just code it for me. And so, boom, that easy lift is done in 45 seconds.
We're actually building some things over at TLOP where, like, I want to, have a coach in your pocket, right? So, like, wherever you go, you can pull out your phone, you can click the app, you can ask a question of your coach, and your coach is going to answer it with TLOP approved answers. But we have our blueprint. Our blueprint's our daily, weekly, monthly success tracker, like the holy grail. If you can complete 80% of that blueprint for 16 consistent weeks, I promise you, you'll see drastic positive changes in your business. Well, I want that blueprint to be an app, but back in the day, to turn that into an app, it would be
$500,000.
Oh, yes. In like 6 months, we had the app built in 3 days. 3 days.
Bolt.new, lovable.dev.
Lovable.
Yeah.
Lovable.
Yeah. Amazing.
We went with Lovable. And that's where I want to maybe wrap up today's conversation is, look, for those that are just getting started, what are some of the things that you did? Because you've been in with AI now for 2 years, right? You were a very early adopter.
Yeah. Since ChatGPT became a thing, and I was hearing about LLMs 8 years ago.
Yes. LLM stands for?
Long language model.
Long language model. Yeah. There's so many new acronyms. I mean, we're in the mortgage industry, so we're used to. But like I learned of Lovable because I had someone actually recommend that I start getting a daily email.
Yeah.
So it's called like the AI daily or the daily AI download. And it's awesome because I read it every single day. I understand today about 40% of what I'm reading. But look, 6 months ago, I understood 20%.
Yeah.
It very much reminds me of being a young rookie loan originator when I first started getting mortgage marketing guide. I think that was like MMG was Barry Habib's first product before he sold it. Now it's MBS Highway. Dude, I didn't understand half the crap that was in there about the U.S. economy and CPI and candlesticks and we got ceilings of resistance and floors of support. But I still read it daily. And it was through me reading this daily email publication that I learned of Lovable. I shared it with my team, the people who actually do geek out on doing like tech projects. And yes, like for no dollars, in 3 days, we got to 90%. So we have our app built at 90%. We've learned that we will have to put some money behind it, and we will have to get an expert to come in, but it may cost us $5,000. It'll cost us $5,000 to complete the project because of AI, and it all started because I was just not so dumb and just smart enough that I'm like, look, I'm not putting AI back in the box. So I either can start to be a fast adopter or I can be irrelevant. So on that note, what are your top 5? Like if you're not using this in AI, you're missing out.
I think if you're not utilizing Claude would be the best one for this, but if you're not utilizing a custom project to articulate information to your borrower about like fee sheets, that should be the first place that an LO should start, because that's how you create what I call a legendary experience for that client. Is like, if you're in Encompass, how hard it is to compare things side by side. So you got to go to Mortgage Coach, you got to go to these other things, and like you can just upload 2 fee sheets into the thing and it articulates the information side by side, gives them the break-even point, does everything that you need to do, and you send to that client. And 99% of other LOs are not going to send that email.
Yeah, and please know this. Just like your assistant or your junior is only as good as you train them, onboard them, coach them, teach them, whether it's Claude or Chat or Perplexity or you name your favorite, they're only as good as you tell them to be. So you have to become a bit of a prompt master yourself, which basically just means be a creative thinker and give them detailed expectations and then let them get to work. Like, I don't know if you're planning on talking about this, but like, you took Mortgage Coach and said, that is amazing, but I can do it myself.
Yeah.
And you now can give a borrower a Mortgage Coach experience without necessarily having to pay for that product or that service.
And the cool thing about like Lovable and some of these AIs is if you turn that creative brain on, and some people just aren't going to get there just because they're not that type of person. But if you are an inquisitive person, turn that creative brain on and think about how you can create things that save you money. Like right now, we're in margin compression, still margin compression in the mortgage business. So we got to be creative and find ways to become more profitable. And that's how AI is going to change the game. AI is going to change the game because you're going to be able to go, I really want to create this tool. And back in the day, to code a whole website and do all this stuff, it would have taken me forever and I would have gave up on it. Never happened. Because I created websites back in the day and it was a bear to do. So you take Lovable and you take that concept that you just went through on Claude, you go over to Lovable and you say, hey, I want to create a platform where if I upload 2 fee sheets that it creates a PDF and it gives it to, like, I can send it right to the client. Lovable will create that. It'll create you a super-based database on the backside, and boom, you'll be able to implement something like that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's like we grew up learning the 4 who, what, when, where, why, and how. You know, that's 6 right there. But it's like, okay, the when is right now. We know when. You do that right now. But if you've ever thought, how could I?
Yeah.
You now have an expert as long as you tell them, I need you to be an expert in this. Act like you have 20 years experience. Resemble. I do this all the time. Act like you are a 20-year journalist who has their own podcast, who hangs out with Gary Vee and Alex Hormozy, and take this information I'm giving you and rework it in my own voice so that I can create this presentation, right? Like that's the type of detail that we're talking about. But you know when to do it. But now it's like next time you've ever asked, how could I?
You have the how now.
You have the how, or even why.
Yeah.
Like, why would this work? Why would this not work? Like, you can start asking these questions, and it's like having a partner or a co-collaborator, but that person costs you $20 a month. They don't cost you $20,000 a month, which is what a lot of this high-level thinking would cost. So your first is, if I'm summarizing, Claude.
Yeah.
But you have to have Claude programmed.
Yeah, you have to talk to it and tell it what it needs to do.
It has to know who you are. So you have to spend some time letting it know who you are, what you do, the clients you serve.
Yeah.
And then you have to start building a relationship with it because it's going to learn. And as you build a relationship, as you set proper expectations, it'll start being able to be your guiding light or your guiding voice. Okay, what's your number 2? If Claude was number 1, what's number 2?
ChatGPT's good at Claude's good at certain things. ChatGPT's good at certain things. I think the image generation in ChatGPT's gotten tremendously good for like if you want to create flyers or like open house signs for realtors, or you want to think about a logo design or whatever it might be. ChatGPT has gotten really, really good at that. And then overall, like as a loan officer, the tactical piece of why you need to learn AI is because you can go fill rooms full of people that are realtors. And I do it all the time. You can put 70 asses in seats very easily by teaching them something tactical with AI. And it's literally the hottest topic right now. And if you want to gain realtor traction and you want to go and try to create new relationships, learn one thing on an AI that could help a realtor and then go teach them that. Yeah.
Okay. So we did Claude, we did chat, rapid fire. Give me your next 3. Doesn't have to be in order.
Oh, Gemini is getting a lot better. I've started to use Gemini a lot. If you like to create funny videos, Gemini is pretty good for that. And then Sora is built into ChatGPT. But I would say that one of the most important moving forward is how to create agentic agents. And you can do that on N8N with their bot builder, and then Lovable and Bolt. Like if you're a creator and you want to create some tools that make either your realtors' lives easier or your LO's lives easier, those 2 things are amazing. I created the VA recoupment calculator on Lovable, and like tells you, all right, that URL will work. You just plug in the numbers from Encompass.
So those are some of the things that I was hoping to get out of this. Like you as a as a leader, as an originator,
Yeah.
are trying to solve for? What were you trying to solve for?
Just the questions that I always get, like, so when in my position, I'm kind of the catch-all for all of the questions, and I go and fix loans and all that. So I could see that the opportunity for Earls and Streamlines were on the horizon.
Yes.
And I said, I got to create some tools so I don't get this question 1,000 times. So the other one that I'm releasing too is the FHA Streamline calculator, because that's like long division. That's a super hard loan to figure out if you've never done one before. So.
Yeah. So a VA Streamline refinance, which you call an Earl, or an FHA Streamline, there's a mathematical formula that originators and brokers have to follow in order to make sure that we're allowed to do a Streamline, right? There has to be a certain amount of savings, a certain amount of interest rate drop. I know in FHA, we can't roll in closing costs. So you have to factor in that.
And it came from mistakes, because I screwed up so many FHA Streamlines during COVID. I was like, oh, why is their cost $1,000 more at closing?
Yeah, so
this sucks.
If you're a branch manager, how many times are you like, oh my God, I answer this question all the time. I wish there was something that I could give to my originators so they could just know quickly without having to interrupt me in my day. And Mike's like, you can do that. You just have to learn how to work with your director of marketing, your COO, or your highly paid consultant, which you just happen to call Claude, Chat, GPT, and Gemini, right? That's what they are for you. Yeah. They are your marketing director, your COO, and your consultant. But you pay $20 a month times 3, so you pay $60 a month to have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of worth of knowledge per month. And then from there, they may introduce you to Lovable, or they may introduce you to Bolt, or they may introduce you to another AI that you then can use. I think the important thing is that you take this conversation Mike and I had, and you start making a change in how you approach your day and your week. Which, for someone that they've heard this for 2 years, but they're still not there. Which, by the way, we have people who have heard the power of online networking, and they're still not leveraging Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram.
It's crazy.
So what are you telling them? Because this is where I want to put a bow on things. Unless you have something that you're holding out on that you wanted to get across the finish line before we wrap it up, my goal is give the people some words of wisdom, a voice of confidence. And then we'll figure out how they can get a hold of you, and we can tell them how to get a hold of me, then we can wrap things up.
Yeah, I would say biggest advice moving forward from a positivity standpoint is, if you double down on this stuff, that you're going to make a lot of money, which we're all in this to help people, but we also have to pay our bills.
Yes.
And we all want to make money. So if you utilize AI correctly, it's going to allow you to leverage yourself. And you and I have said this phrase probably 1,000 times internally, is I wish I could clone myself. And AI allows you to clone yourself and do the work that you don't want to do, whether it's thought-provoking work or remembering things or whatever it might be. It's really, really great for that. And then the second piece of advice is get a childlike curiosity again. If you start utilizing AI and you get excited about the mortgage business again, and you have a childlike curiosity and a vigor to you to figure out AI, then you're going to start creating things, and your brain's going to start opening up. And you're not going to utilize it to just be your brain and like you just get dumber. It's made me smarter. Like, it's made me more inquisitive. It's made me ask more questions. It's made me ask better questions. So get a childlike curiosity to you and start messing with it and playing with it, because you can go fill rooms with people if you learn just one thing. And
my biggest encouragement to anybody is 15 minutes a day. Dedicate, all of us have 15 minutes a day. Dedicate 15 minutes a day to go in and dabble and play. And I promise you, just like anything I've ever done in my life, if I did something, whether it's play the guitar, if I played the guitar 15 minutes a day every single day, after a year, I would actually know entire songs. Right now, I don't even know 3 chords. But I promise you, same thing with speaking Spanish. If I spent 15 minutes a day, every single day, practicing my Spanish, a year from now, I would be able to hold a conversation, maybe with a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old. It might not be like total business conversation, but the same thing applies with AI. Mike, 2 questions I ask everybody. Sometimes it gets recorded. Sometimes I forget to record it, but I'm going to do a better job going forward. What is one book that you have read that is like one of your most favorite to recommend to others?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age.
Oh, there's a updated version?
Yes.
And it's called In the
Digital Age.
Like, who wrote it?
I think it's In the Digital Age. So they've added to the original book.
Yeah, so it's Dale Carnegie's book, but then
yeah.
with major updates.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's a classic. That thing was written probably 50, 60 years ago. I'm happy to know that they've updated with In the Digital Age. You're a father. You have young children. What is one piece of advice that you're going to be raising your kids, understanding that it wasn't taught to you growing up? You had to learn it through the school of hard knocks.
I would say make sure that you always ask follow-up questions. I was always taught to just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like that was the generation, like stand there and don't be heard. And so getting my kids to ask deeper questions and be contributing members of society, because
be good humans. Yes.
Yeah, be good humans. Make sure that you're making the world a better place, and that's my goal in life. Is just try to make people better around me, be better myself, hold myself accountable, and just grow every day.
Well, I will tell you all, he is the real deal. He does do that. Like, I've seen him in action, and he goes out of his way to make sure he leaves things better than he found them, and he's investing in others, which is really, it's probably why T-Lop's such a big fan of Fitz, is because we're out to shape the future of the mortgage industry. We do so one broker at a time, one LO at a time. Mike, if people want to get a hold of you, they want to follow you, how should they do so?
Instagram, Facebook, Real Mike Fitz. I think it's The Real Mike Fitz or Real Mike Fitz. I don't remember. But Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can find me, Mike Fitzpatrick, and would love to chat. And
website?
Website, I don't have I have my LO site, but
but is there like a Legendary Mortgage website?
Yeah, legendarymortgage.com.
Okay.
If you are interested in hearing more about us, you can reach out to me. But ultimately, my biggest one is that if you have a question, just reach out to me. I'm very accessible. And Dustin knows that I'm always happy to help in any way I can.
Yep. Same thing goes here. First name Dustin, last name Owen. I love LinkedIn. Love LinkedIn. People try to message me on Facebook. It's not the best place. I have a wife. I have 2 children. I've kept Facebook for them. Mm-hmm. Now, if I know you personally, you and I are Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Because we're friends. And I have people who have become coaching students of mine, and we are now Facebook friends, because if you become a coaching student of mine, meaning you've gone through a boot camp or you're paying me for one-on-one coaching, we're friends. So I accept those. But LinkedIn is by far the easiest. And I tell people, I dare you to reach out to me and me not to respond within 24 business hours, if not 2 business hours. Instagram, I'm at the Loan Officer Podcast. And as we said earlier in this episode, if you're tuning in on Apple or Spotify or Google Play, hey, thank you. Please give us a 5-star review. That's how more people can find our content. However, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, T-Lop Entertainment, you're missing out tons of additional free content on that YouTube channel. Make sure you go out there and you subscribe. And if you're unsubscribed, you might as well share. And then if you are a branch manager or a company operator and you're looking for someone to come in and coach your loan originators, or you need some consulting work done, or maybe even just a really fun speaker who doesn't suck at your next corporate event, please reach out to us. This is what we're going to be doing and all we're going to be doing in 2026 and beyond. I'd love to find a way that I can help shape the future of your mortgage company and your originators. He's Mike Fitzpatrick, a.k.a. Fitz. I'm Dustin Owen, a.k.a. D.O. You've just tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast. That is all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.